Oh right, I thought I was in trouble.
No, no, you're not in trouble.
I did ask John.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. No, no, I'm not. I was asking if you're recording sound.
Oh, that sounds well.
Yes, of course.
Mobile phone now.
Well, no, because it doesn't have enough space on my phone to hold the amount of taping we're going to have to do. Yeah.
You do realise that John ends up on YouTube, do you know who it was?
Yeah.
He's told me. He's already been on the, you know, he's famous.
Okay. Right, so we're here in Canonbury Square, or just outside it, and we are looking at the green plaque over there, although you probably can't read it from here.
George Orwell. George Orwell.
It's a plaque to George Orwell, because it records the fact that he lived in one of the upstairs flats here just after the war, where he wrote his two most famous works, which were Animal Farm and 1984. And he didn't finish 1984 here. In fact, he finished
Brighton. Was it in Brighton?
Up to, sorry?
Brighton?
No, no. He went
Somewhere
to the
like
Orkneys, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
it,
still
Scotland.
Scotland.
That's it, not Brighton.
It was when Orwell lived here. It was very much a run-down area, and Islington's always had a bit of a bohemian edge to it, rather unlike, say, Hackney, a similar area in the sense of it's the condition of its housing. But there were, in fact, many of the houses, particularly that terrace along there. There are photographs of it, which you'll find with all of the windows missing and pigeons roosting on the windowsills. Today they look as though they've never been out of prosperity, but they certainly weren't.
Put the roof on
in the 1930s, Evelyn Waugh and his wife, also called Evelyn rather confusingly, lived on that side of the square. Also did Nancy Mitford at one stage as well. So it already had that sort of literary atmosphere that Orwell chose to come and lived here as well. He lived here with his wife and his stepson here, and there is a picture of Orwell pushing a pram round the corner towards Canonbury Tower. He loved his son, but he wasn't to live much longer than finishing 1984. He was very ill with TB and died a few years later. I think 1949. I think he died. He'd been a prolific writer, journalist as well, written documentary tracks like Road to Wigan Pier, which told about the working class life in the 1930s, and Down and Out in Paris and London.
Brilliant
which is a book that
really
put me
good.
off eating in a restaurant for many years.
Brilliant book.
We'll read it, will testify. And he wrote for Tribune, the left-wing newspaper. But also during the war, he worked for the government on the propaganda side, working from Senate House in the University of London, which many people have thought to be the model for the Ministry of Truth that appears in the dystopian novel 1984. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about.
There is, if you want to check it out, there is a story that Christine Keeler, those of you young enough to remember,
old enough,
fled here, you know, to escape the scandal going on. So, but you could check it out. That's what I've heard, but I haven't researched it.
She lived in this. She was in this square.
That's what they say.
It is said.
It is said. Yeah. Unless you can't verify it, and you're looking for a bit of scandal, it is said, or I have heard.
Like the square. The other thing about the square is that Henri Leroux, what actually finished him off, was having planned this square and with elegant houses, which you can see examples of. Those ones over there, by the way, are replacements for bomb damage.
Oh, right.
That's why they look rather different.
They're not New River, are they?
No, they're not exactly. He wasn't aware that there was a plan to build the new North Road all the way through the middle of it. So what was going to be a quiet, pleasant residential square attracting the rich suddenly became on the main road, and that really finished off his plans to.
Didn't do his research, did he?
He didn't do his research exactly. Or he didn't go. He didn't go to the solicitor. Didn't go to the surveyor's office. Exactly. Yeah.
They didn't have double glazing then, did they? Or triple glazing.
So there we go. Anyway, lots to find out about here. Lots to talk about. The main point though is we're looking at Orwell, so that's the focus of your contribution here. Now I'm going to pass over to Mary.
Right, I'm going to do
the
next tour. So now we're going from the famous and the infamous, the down and outs, and now the rich around the corner, and look at the home of the earlier rich, definitely famous and infamous. So if you'd like to follow me.